Hello everybody, welcome to the Roland BN20 virtual workshop brought to you by us here at the Vinyl Guys. In this episode, we'll be looking at keeping your VersaWorks and printer as up to date as possible. We'll be running through the easiest way to do this and why we do this. I see a lot of discussion regarding this topic on Roland forums and across Roland social media groups, with some wanting and needing to update, or some users are happy with the if it's not broke, don't fix it, which also as a user these days I completely understand. Although with my engineer hat on, I always recommend updating whenever possible to keep your software and your printer running as smoothly as possible. It will help with certain bug fixes, colour management and any other new features Roland want to add to get the best from your printer. You can find the revision list for all the updates on the Roland Download Centre, which I will be showing you in this video. Now, I understand some of you have had a few issues as of recording this video, have had a few issues with a few versions of VersaWorks, and I completely understand when some of you want to leave it a week or two before updating. In this time, Roland have normally detected any issues with certain softwares, and then within a few days, a new update overwrites any sort of issues with any update previous. So first of all, if you ever need to check for any sort of diagnosis or tech support purposes, if you need to check what version you are on, in VersaWorks, if you go to Help, go to About VersaWorks, and there you'll see the VersaWorks version 6.15. So as of recording, that is the latest version. And then if you want to check the printer firmware, you can also do that in VersaWorks. No matter what print, it doesn't have to be a BN20, it could be any Roland printer. So if you go to Printer, Printer Status, you'll see the firmware version is at 3.10. Again, this is not the latest version. As we go through the download center, you'll see there is a newer version on there ready for download. So as of time of this recording, I'll need to update my BN20. So for those of you who may have noticed, when you first have your VersaWorks installed, it will now automatically set as default connected to the Roland network. So if you look in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see a Roland@net. That means it's connected to the Roland network worldwide. So any new update for VersaWorks, every time you open the software, it will ping up and it will say there's an update. A little tip, which I think most would agree with, do not update through the VersaWorks. It will take you a long time. The downtime of your work, it takes a long time. So what I'm going to show you is go direct to the download center, download the new version and update it. It will literally take you a couple of minutes doing it this way. So for those that have the older version of VersaWorks or do not have the Roland@net, you can set that within the software. So if you go to Edit, go to Preferences, you'll have a tab called Roland@net. So if you want it to connect, you tick that box and you can choose Update Settings. So every time at the minute it's set to every time you log onto the software, every launch it will detect if there's a new version of software, a new update. If there is a new update, it will flash up a little dialog box and you can then update from there. But like I say, we're going to do it for the download center, which seems to be a lot easier. You can change that from every launch, every day, every week, every month. So whichever one to suit you, select which one, and that will just check every time you open the site, it will check for new updates. This is good to have on, even though you're not going to update through the software, because what will happen is it will give you a guide. So when it flashes up, so there's an update, you can then go onto the download center and download the new one. So for the time being, press OK. And this is where the download center comes in. So to find it on Google, just type in the Roland download center and you'll have a few lists. So what you can do is click the first one. It will take you into the download center main menu. So at this point you can search by category or search by name. So what we're going to do, search by name, I'm going to put in my BN20, and you'll see below you have the BN20 or the BN20A. So whichever model applies to you, select that one. So for this one, we're just going to select the BN20. It will then take you to the main BN20 page, and from that point, you will have manuals. So in this page, if you've misplaced anything from your install, or you just simply don't have any manuals to the user manuals to the maintenance manuals, you'll find them all in there. So first step guide, the printer maintenance guide, which is the cleaning, which is an ideal one, especially for the user to have, because it gives you a little guide on how to clean around the print heads. So for now, what we'll do is go to software, and in there, this is where you'll find every bit of software for your BN20. So the VersaWorks 6, so all the updates in there, so you can drop down that menu. Within there, you'll have the complete installer, so if you're brand new to the BN20 and you have no version of VersaWorks already, you can go straight down the installer and download it from that point. If you already have the VersaWorks, you'll have the updater, which again, at time of recording, 6.15 is the latest version. So from there, you can click download and it will download it for you. In there, you'll have a little function about the job assistant feature. I will be doing a video on that. Basically, for those that don't know, the job assistant in VersaWorks is, if you're a complete novice, complete beginner, you can now add cut lines within VersaWorks, but we'll save that for another day. Also in there, you'll have your older VersaWorks, so your VersaWorks Dual. You'll have your latest version in there. And then, again, if you're completely new to the BN20, you have no software, you will find the complete software package in there. So if you download that, it will download you the USB driver and it will download you the BN20 utility, which, if you look at our previous videos, I have done a video on the BN20 utility. So again, for those that already have it, you have up-to-date BN20 drivers. So if you're updating your Windows, you can find the latest drivers in there. And also the BN20 utility, you'll have the updater. So for those that have the utility, you can also update the utility as well to get to the latest version, which is also recommended. The last option, again, as part of this video, is the BN20 firmware. So as you've seen on my VersaWorks, my BN20 is at 3.10. The latest one, as of recording, is 3.20, so I need to update that one. So all you do is click download. It will take you to a separate page. Click agree and it will start downloading in the top corner. So for the time being, we'll go back to that page, and like I said before, you can find the revision notes for different firmwares within the download center. So what you can do is go to BN20 firmware, and you'll have next to the download button a version. So if you click on that, it will tell you all the different updates for this is for the printer. So on 2.9, it gives you a little explanation now what they've changed in the firmware. Again, with the printer, there's not really too much that changes. It's purely bug related, so mainly to keep up with the new Windows updates. If you go to the VersaWorks updater, you'll also have one there. So if you click on that, it will take you to a separate page. So choose your desired language. And here you'll see the version 6.15, and you'll see the changes they've made to certain. It might not be all relevant to BN20, but it'll be relevant to all the other machines you can use within the VersaWorks software. So you've got the bug fixes, and as you go down to the bottom, you can have view update history. So you can actually click that, and then it will show you all the versions previous. So if you're on a 6.13 or 6.12, you can see the differences from each version to version of what's been changed. So that's available on the download center. If ever you're unsure, if you've got a few issues, if you want to check that, if you don't want to update, you can check the revision notes first and see if your issue is listed. I mean, like I say, it's recommended that you do update wherever possible, but I completely understand the reasoning. If it's working, why fix it? So that's the download center. Again, it doesn't just apply to the BN20. You can search for any printer within this. So, for instance, if you had the SP, you had the VG, you can choose your desired printer, so the VG2, and you'll have all these options that you had for the BN20 for each individual printer as well. So that's available, like I say, for everybody to use. If you need to download drivers, firmware, have a look on the download center, and there might just be a manual or a driver or firmware update that you might just need to use. Okay, so what we've done is we've downloaded that, and for this purpose of this video, I've put it on the desktop. So what we'll do, if you ever need to update the VersaWorks, open it up, click your updater. If it's running, it will tell you to close the software, which we will just for the purpose of this video. So you double click, yes, and it will flash up saying check for updates, press update, and it will start the install. Because I'm already at the latest version, it doesn't need to do this. But like I say, doing it this way, it will take you minutes. If you do it through VersaWorks, it will take you hours. So this is the more effective way for the user to update as fast as you can and carry on printing. Okay, so that's the VersaWorks. For the firmware, again, we'll cover this video I'm going to do a maintenance video, which the firmware will cover. We will cover that, but within there, again, it's just an exe file. So as you open that, it's an automatic detection. So when you're plugged into your BN20, it will flash up with, press next, it will flash up with your current version and what version it's going to jump to. But again, we'll cover that in another maintenance video. But for the time being, that's it for now. Like I say, if you want to, check out the download center. If there's any questions regarding what you've seen on this video, feel free to get in touch again on our Vinyl Guys social media sites, or you can contact me directly on the below email, which is tech@thevinylguys.co.uk. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.